Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YNTAAY Minis. I'm Chris Smith, and today I am reviewing The Last Ship, Sting's musical that I saw a couple of weeks ago when it started its North American tour right here in Los Angeles, California. Actually, I saw it when it was at the end of its tour. I saw it on February 15th at the beautiful Amundsen Theater. And look, I got this beautiful poster, which I'm going to put up. And what's handy is it has the tour dates right here. And it's only playing 5 cities. We'll talk more about those cities later on. But isn't that a lovely poster of Sting? Now, you know, the music and the lyrics are by Sting, as I said, and it's based on his childhood growing up in a shipbuilding community in northern England. And it is set in 1986, and it is this. They have a very nice little glossary in the program. They have the history of shipbuilding and protest, and then they have a little glossary of all the words that they say, because some of the accents are very thick and they use different kind of words like "aye," which means yes, which you all should know that, and "not" is nothing. So that's very handy to have. You know, this show, so there it is. It's set in Wall's End, Northeast England, 1986. And in the original cast recording, they say Wall's End, more like World's End, which they don't have that line in the new version. This is a retelling, a redone book of the Broadway musical that was on in New York in 2014. And the original book was by John Logan and Brian Yorkie, and the new book is by Lauren Campbell, who also directed this performance, or this production. And the original was directed by Joe Mantello. So, and like I said, the music is by Sting, and the lyrics are by Sting, and it's very near and dear to his heart, about his childhood and his relationship with his father. Not autobiographical, but the characters are sort of based on those situations. Now, the original is played from, let's see, Sting went into the original December 9th, 2014. I believe it started previews like October in 2014, and the box office sales weren't very good since Sting wasn't in the show, and a shipbuilding musical is a little bit of a hard sell here in this country, probably. And Sting went into the show December 9th, 2014, and he stayed until January 25th, 2015, and then he was leaving the show, and they were hoping that he would boost ticket sales enough to keep it open. And he had prior commitments, so he couldn't stay in the show, and tragically, the show closed. And I've always loved the music from The Last Ship. I've always been a big Sting fan, and so the music is just beautiful. The show received 2 Tony nominations in 2015 for Best Original Score and Best Orchestrations. So, and it's some of the songs will be familiar to you because it's based on his previous albums. The Soul Cages from 1991 is the album that it's really based on. Or that it takes some songs from. It has Island of the Souls and All This Time from the Soul Cages, and When We Dance from his 1994 album, Fields of Gold, The Best of Sting, and Ghost Story is from the 1999 album, Brand New Day. So he really didn't take a lot of his hits and just plop them into the show. And they really fit into the show quite nicely. Now here are some photos. That's the Sting's character, Jackie White, and his wife, Peggy. Here's the old logo of The Last Ship that they used on Broadway. And of course, now they use this not as beautiful a design, because you know I do love little designs, and I love things like that, you know. A symbol that can really tell you it's the last ship, like that cute little red ship sailing on this twirly wave. Now, here's the set in the new one. And here's some of the cast. There's his wife, Peggy White, in the show. Now, the show is more woman-centric in this version. In the original, it featured a love triangle. There's this young man named Gideon who leaves the town and then comes back like 15 years later, and his old love that he left behind is named Meg, and now she's involved with a man named Arthur who wants to marry her, but she's not quite ready to say yes. Why? Is she still holding on to the past? And then Gideon comes back and he wants her back. And she has a teenage son who is Gideon's child. So that's like what the original featured. Well, in the new version, he comes back, and it's like 17 years later. Meg doesn't have anybody in her life, which I didn't like that, because I didn't want that Meg hadn't moved on. Not that somebody needs a man or a woman or, you know, a relationship to define who they are, because Lord knows that's not true. But it was like, why was this woman, you know, was she just waiting for him all that time? And in this version, she has a teenage daughter who's a musician, and she wants to leave the town and go to pursue her singing career with her band. Now, so, oh, and let me tell you, so I sat up in the balcony, and nobody told me there were any obstructed views. And so they play a lot of the scenes. In fact, when Gideon exits from the town and then comes back, it's all played up here. And where I was sitting, I was so far up that I was looking down, and the top of the you know, the ceiling or whatever was blocking my view. So I could only see like up to their chests. And I mean, they knew this obviously, because they were trying to play to the balcony people, and they would lean down as far as they could on the railings, but it wasn't always very good. So people, if you're building a set, try not to put people up on balconies that are too high and walkways, because some of us in the poor people's seats can't see it. So here's some more pictures. The new production is it's a lovely show. That's the daughter. I've always loved The Last Ship, and I was delighted that it came to Los Angeles. I mean, it's 2020 now. This thing started on Broadway in 2014. I didn't think we would ever see it anywhere. That's Sting, and there's more. The first act is a little slow with the shipyard closing, and it got a little political with the town meetings. But you know, I was glad to see it. Now here's some pictures from the original Broadway cast. Look, Sting is a little younger there, and he's got the beard, and his hair is probably dyed, I would say then, to make him look a little younger. That's their Meg. She was a little more, you know, red-haired, and here's her Arthur, his character is not even in the show. The lighting is gorgeous in the original. A little dark looking in the new version, so I missed the love triangle. I missed the beautiful lighting. There's the teenage son from the original. But you know, I was very glad to see it. Now, besides this poster, I also bought, let me show you, their beautiful magnet. Okay, so here's the magnet that I bought. It's very stained glass looking. And the ship and the shipbuilders. I mean, you can tell it's not really a big commercial show like some shows. You wouldn't say, oh, let's go see that new shipbuilder show. You're going because of Sting and the great music, of course. Now, so it played in Los Angeles at the Amundsen, and now it's in San Francisco from February 20th to March 22nd. And then it's going on to Washington, D.C. to the National Theater. And it's going to be there March 27th of 2020 to April 5th. So that's a short run in Washington. And then it's going to St. Paul, Minnesota at the Ordway Center. That'll be April 8th to April 19th. And then finally, the last stop for the last ship is in Detroit at the Detroit Opera House. And that's going to be April 22nd through the 26th. Now, some of the great songs in the show include, "And when the tide rolls round, you'll find your bed is empty and he's gone. So if you ever see me talking to a sailor, some scurvy no-good mongrel of a lad, you knock the drink out of my hand, push me over where I stand, take a slug at me, but somewhere I won't scar. Pin my body to the ground and slap my face to bring me round, and you can roll my silly ass out of this bar. And these dead men's boots know their way down the hill. They can walk there themselves, and they probably will. I'd plenty of choices and plenty other routes, and he'd never see me walking in these dead man's boots. They say there's an underground river that none of us can see, and it flows through winding tunnels on its way to a tideless sea. And across the sea is an island, a paradise, we are told, where the toils of life are forgotten, and they call it an island of souls. For only a soul can go there, a soul that's been set free from the confines of a working life to find eternity. Show some respect on this deck for the dear departed. Gather ye's round, let's be bound to the work we started. Save all your strength for the length of the task before us. Think of that ship on the slipway, they can't ignore us. It's what he would have wanted, he'll not be disappointed. Each of us well appointed, we've all but been anointed. Such was our occupation, the means of our salvation. We'll make a rope out of our dreams and hopes and tribulations. I just love this score, and there's so many good songs. What have we got? All you men who's fit and able. What have you got for the straining of your neck? What have you got when you're laid out on the table, and the snapping of the cable and the rigging hits the deck? What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? We got nout. We got nout, else so. What have we got? What have we got? What have we got? What have we got? We got nout. We got nout is. I'm sorry, I just had to sing it. So yes, go see The Last Ship. And okay, here's what else I bought. In addition to that cast recording that I had from the original cast, which is a great listen. You've all got to get that. And it's on the little, see, here's the little opening thing. They don't have the boy holding the little ship. And then I bought this, the Sting's The Last Ship, and it has Sting himself singing a lot of his songs, and then they've put, they've put a few of the songs from the new version, because I think there's a couple new songs. So you can still listen to The Last Ship, and and you can go see it while it's playing at these 4 remaining cities, and I think you should do so. It's a fine show. Okay, so thank you for watching, if you're still watching after 15 minutes, and have a great day. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.